You never asked for a single thing.
Till 1 in the morning.
And then the freak off.
Everybody says, get out of that.
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met.
In a relationship with Sean Combs, Cassie would never have gone through what she's gone.
The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York has just dropped a bombshell, revealing which of Hollywood's biggest names were tied to illegal activities with Sean Diddy Combs. And the names on that list will leave you stunned.
Indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB.
Arrest warrants are on the verge of being issued for some of the most influential producers, actors, artists, and even top-tier athletes. This isn't some far-fetched conspiracy theory. It's an organized network of predators at the center of one of the most jaw-dropping scandals the world has ever witnessed.
Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was drugged and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, minor, was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping her. Another individual, 26 at the time of the occurrence, was picked up allegedly by Mr. Combs and several other people in a black SUV from the airport, was given one drink in the SUV, and then literally woke up the next day not knowing what had happened, but with pain and damage to both her vagina and her anus, where she then went to the hospital. She was missing her underwear and her shoes. Another instance, an individual, this time not a minor, attended a group dinner, allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. She blacked out, and she woke up in the same bed, again allegedly, with Mr. Combs in his mansion in Miami. Her vagina and her anus were torn and sore.
50 Cent and Diddy crossed paths for the first time in the early 2000s, back when Diddy was riding high as a producer alongside Jay-Z, fueled by the massive success of the No Way Out album. From the very beginning, 50 sensed something wasn't quite right. In a recent interview with Entertainment Tonight, 50 revealed that for over a decade, he's been sounding the alarm about Diddy's suspicious behavior, but no one seemed to pay attention.
And on the Enthusiast podcast earlier this month, defending why he's always been outspoken about longtime rival Sean Diddy Combs. Now, the rapper's doubling down on his feelings in a new interview with People.
I'm not panicking, they are.
Following Diddy's arrest for allegations of abuse, which he has vehemently denied, and stories of wild parties coming to light, 50 tells the outlet, "It seems like I'm doing some extremely outrageous things, but I haven't. It's really me just saying what I've been saying for 10 years.
They don't want me to throw the parties no more, but we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life.
50 adding, "I'm like, yo, it's just my perspective because I stayed away from that stuff the entire time because this is not my style."
50 Cent has never held back when it comes to calling out Diddy, openly suggesting that Diddy is gay, and claiming he made several unwanted advances toward him. In a now famous interview with The Breakfast Club, 50 described Diddy as fruity, and even shared how Diddy allegedly tried to take him out on dates.
When you continuously call Puff gay, does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said,
Let me read it, Fifth.
Oh my God.
Sorry I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner Thieves in theaters January 19th.
That's why he says things. He doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said something fabulous and he goes, yo, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What is he talking about? That's the kind of stuff. When people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like, he said something to me one time, a long time ago. At Chris Knighty's wedding, he told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of no, take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
That's why I don't be going to them puffy parties. They can hug you from the front and the back at the same time. What the fuck you talking about? Look, if you're into that, I'm fine with it. To each his own. I'm just saying this ain't my mother kind of party. I like it. It's uncomfortable. I think I belong in the girls' bathroom. Like that is going on.
According to 50 Cent, Diddy's actions go far beyond allegations of sexual misconduct. 50 has claimed that Diddy is the mastermind behind the murders of both Biggie and Tupac in 1996 and 1997, a shocking accusation that has sent shockwaves through fans and the industry alike. What's even more startling is that Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, has reportedly backed up these claims.
Caught a bullet from somebody else, and that happens to us all the time. They caught a bullet that was for somebody else. You know, that's what happened to Big.
Could more murders and assaults have been prevented if 50's warnings had been taken seriously and Diddy had been stopped?
I had two girls in the room, but people want to make up a lot of bullshit and say what they want to say and flip it the way they want to flip it. I tell it like it is. But you got these guys, you got these people out here, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, all this shit is for entertainment, man. Some people want the truth, some people speak the truth. Some people don't even know the fucking truth, it'll smack them dead in the face, bro. But I tell you one thing, it's from my mouth to God's ear. And all these clowns can say whatever they want to say.
One of the closest insiders to Diddy, and the one with the most revealing stories, is Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard. Gene worked for Diddy for nearly a decade during the 90s, witnessing the height of his career firsthand. Now, Gene is pulling back the curtain on what really went on behind the scenes. In recent years, Gene Deal has been outspoken about Diddy's alleged involvement in illegal activities, but it's only now that people are starting to take his claims seriously. According to Gene, this delay was because many knew that if Diddy went down, they'd be dragged down with him.
What he did to Cassie, with the kicking, the punching, they saw what they did to Cassie. They know that nobody in America liked that. So now, these people are represented by a brand, whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies. They not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey buddy, we got you on this tape, and Girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, you know, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape, because if he had 250 tapes all over, 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched. And Brother Love was.
Gene Deal revealed that some of the biggest names in Hollywood, including many beloved celebrities, are allegedly tied to Diddy, but they're being blackmailed to stay silent and avoid testifying against him. Out of all of them, only one celebrity had the courage to speak out: Wendy Williams. Wendy bravely exposed Diddy's alleged crimes, but paid a heavy price for it. Not only did she face public threats on live TV, but her bold stance ultimately cost her career. She was fired shortly after speaking out.
You know, what's worse, you know, hip-hop wearing skirts or hip-hop being closeted and having a plethora of kids to prove manhood, that, you know, and denial of something that you shouldn't have to deny, which is your sexuality. So I hear what Jamar is saying, but we come from a very homosexual era of hip-hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time, her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such, and now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle now. So,
do you think now with people like Frank Ocean coming out of the closet, even though he's not exactly a rapper, but he definitely overlaps into the rap community, do you think that we're gonna have a time where it's cool to be a gay rapper?
Allegedly, Diddy even made a shocking and highly inappropriate threat, claiming on live TV that he would harm Wendy Williams' son in an unthinkable way. The tension was palpable when Diddy mentioned liking her son and claimed to have met him. Wendy's reaction spoke volumes. Her demeanor shifted instantly, and she began to stutter, clearly showing fear and discomfort in the moment.
As the mother of a now 16-year-old,
who I met backstage,
he did?
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You represent a lot.
In an exclusive interview with the Daily Mail, Wendy Williams reacted to the recent footage of Diddy assaulting Cassie in a hotel. She said, "What is really weird is that I have been told by so many people, Wendy, you called it, including some people from my family who have said the same."
Commercial sex worker, and that Cassie had been trying to
My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I was disgusted then when I did it, I'm disgusted now.
Diddy apologized only after broadcast the shocking confrontation world.
What you gotta say now? What you gotta say now? You ain't got shit to say when you put your girl on.
Another highly credible insider who has spoken extensively about Diddy's actions is someone with a unique perspective, one that few, if any, can claim. That person is Jaguar Wright, a former backup dancer for Jay-Z, a man Diddy often refers to as his closest friend. Jaguar's professional connection to Diddy gave her an insight into his world that sets her apart from other sources.
There's only one person. Go on. And I call him Sean. That's Jay-Z. We call each other Sean. Okay. Yeah. Nobody else could call me Sean. He's the only person who's Sean approved. There's not a single person that outside of family. That should be outside of my mother. Okay. Just should be calling.
According to Jaguar Wright, Diddy has been deeply involved in sex trafficking and sexual abuse for years. She claimed that Diddy didn't act alone. Those around him allegedly encouraged his behavior and even aided him in these crimes. Jaguar went as far as naming Jennifer Lopez, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé as accomplices, accusing them of being involved in criminal activities alongside Diddy. Despite these serious allegations, Jaguar believes Diddy's powerful connections have allowed him to avoid facing justice.
Puss had to do was marry a white boy, Oscar winner for people to stop remembering that she had a gun in her pocketbook. She had gunshot residue on her hands the night that Natanya was shot at that club. For all we know, that bullet came from the gun that was in her hand. And not once has she spoken up for the betterment of that woman. Not once has she donated to her family or for her medical bills that she's still paying, or say something in her defense to stop Puffy from gaslighting her and trying to put hits out on her because he was afraid that maybe one day they would open the case and she still has the bullet fragments in her face. Like J-Lo has said, nothing. Nothing. You really thought that just running off and marrying Ben Affleck was going to take you out of the Diddy downfall? But it saved her the first time though, didn't it? Because as soon as that club was over and as soon as they finished interrogating her, when she sat there and cried like a baby, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. Benny Medina put her with that drunk white boy until she ran him off. Like, there are people sitting here screaming out at the toll that the atrocities that Sean Combs has done to their lives, and you're trying to avoid your part in the story or the fact that you never spoke up. You know, you want to tell people on the low and put it out there that the movie was about you getting away from Puffy, but you didn't think about the trail of girls that you left behind. What happens to Cassie if J-Lo had said something to Diddler back then? Would Cassie have ever been a victim? Answer me that. Because that situation happened in the late 90s. That situation happened before Aaliyah passed away, and Aaliyah passed away in 2001. He didn't get with Cassie until 2009, 15 years after he was with Jennifer. If she had to come forward about the abuse that she suffered in a relationship with Sean Combs, Cassie would never have gone through what she's gone through. J-Lo being a stand bitch is Cassie not getting punted in a fucking hole.
Jaguar Wright has joined a group of outspoken celebrities who are now suggesting that Diddy's arrest could actually be a cover-up. They claim the true scope of his actions might be far worse, with potentially many more victims whose stories have yet to come to light.
For me, because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously a lot of
cruelty-free artistry.
Right, there's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music, and that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to bid for all of its precious jewels. We have too many lost. The list of lost is ridiculous, and everyone knows Diddy was selected for this.
Joe Rogan and comedian Andrew Schultz have also addressed these allegations in a recent interview. They discussed the controversies surrounding Diddy, speculating on the broader implications and questioning whether the full extent of the scandal has been revealed. Judge and former arbiter of the popular reality court show has also voiced his support for these claims. He has spoken out, lending credibility to the allegations and emphasizing the need for a deeper investigation into the matter.
The situation that Diddy in. Let's say this. Something else is going on. They didn't raid, they searched with a warrant his premises on the West Coast, right? They searched his premises on the East Coast in Florida, right? On the same property that the premises was located that they searched in Florida, he had a second mansion. They didn't touch that one. Why not? And when they walk out of there, they got a small trash bag and they have a medium-sized cardboard box. What was it they seized that would fit into those items? I have a sneaking suspicion from my background in criminal defense that what they seized was some evidence that was very incriminating to other people. Now, after they seized the evidence, they had no probable cause to arrest him on any crime. He hasn't been indicted. They talked to him at an airport before he got on a private jet to fly to an island that has no extradition agreement with the United States. Have you heard anybody trying to prosecute him?
Not at all.
So what did they do? See, the feds are interesting. Who served the search warrant?
Homeland Security.
Now, what the hell do they have to do with that? That's the FBI.
And that's just the beginning. As more allegations emerge and legal actions take shape, the truth about Diddy and his connections is finally being exposed. With Hollywood's most guarded secrets unraveling, the burning questions remain. Who will be brave enough to speak out next? And just how far does this scandal reach?